All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
Mother Goose, standing by.
Lock S-foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast. I am, I guess, one of your side hosts now? I don't know, I've been gone for so long, but I'm back again. It's me, HouseDog. I am finally back from work. And with me, as always, your Harry's co-host, the one, the only Mother Goose. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody.
And, you know, I've been gone for so long, I don't think I'll say that I hate him or discourage having him here. I'm just glad to be back, and you know what? I guess I have missed him a little bit. Even though he's chewed up all the droids that we've sent to repair the ship. That's right, I listened to the episodes that I'm not on.
Hell yeah.
It's our one and our only, our goofy little Minoc.
Lowtech Tuck, back up in this. Chewing on wires, killing droids like it's my job. Beating up droids like they owe me money. Your main man, I'm back. What up?
You know, I think this could work out in our favor, you know? If somebody sends droids to take our ship apart, I think we're covered.
You know, it's just amazing that even during my absence, the legend of the Minoc has grown past what it should have ever been.
Yeah. It was a joke, now it's reality. That's the way it is.
This is true to our hearts.
Yep. Always in our hearts.
Indeed it is.
Well, HouseDog, you haven't been here in a little bit. You want to tell everybody what we're talking about today?
We're still on the Bad Batch somehow. I was hoping I would go and come back and we wouldn't be talking about it, but we are.
Is this your, like, Rogue One's your movie you don't want to watch? Bad Batch is your series?
Not really. In fact, today's going to be interesting because I didn't watch any of the episodes I was supposed to because I was too busy watching the season 2 episodes.
Hell yeah. T-Nell, did you watch the episodes? Just me, huh? Just me, huh?
I read some recaps and I watched them like 2-3 weeks ago.
Nice. Okay.
So
I think that counts.
You know,
I think that counts.
I mean, while I walk at night, I do turn on Bad Batch, and I've been kind of watching them here and there. But
why is Tuck a 70-year-old man?
On my nightly walks while eating my wheat toast, I watch Bad Batch.
Tuck's on that grind.
Are you tell me you don't walk around the neighborhood in your jeans. Like, tell me you at least like put on a pair of like athletic shorts or
I
sweatpants.
can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. It is true. Jeans, and if I'm wearing a sweater, I keep the sweater on because I don't want to have to do more laundry.
It might get cold out there on your 15-minute walk too.
It might. It's an hour.
Oh, okay.
As long as you don't get sick.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be getting sick.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
For the homies. Exactly.
Well, great. I did watch them, but I didn't really take notes. So we'll see what happens. Just as a little recap, today we are talking about episodes 2 through 6 of season 1. So that'll be Cut and Run, Replacements, Cornered, Rampaged, and Decommissioned.
Ah, yes, those classic episodes.
Yes. All right, so should we start with Cut and Run?
Season 2's heating up. If you guys have watched it yet, I don't know if you have or not.
I've seen a few episodes.
I'm waiting to watch them till we make it to season 2 in our review, because I know if I watch them now, I'm not going to want to watch them when it comes time to review them. Yeah,
so hot take here before we get into it. Not a super big fan of Bad Batch.
Interesting. Do you want to, I mean, I know we can't really talk about season 2 too much without spoiling anything, but why not?
I don't know. You know, whenever we got him in Clone Wars, and again, I was listening, so yes, if you have any Clone Wars questions, I'm back.
Hell yeah.
In Clone Wars, whenever they got introduced, I thought they were super cool. I thought, you know, we were going to get a better look at elite clone forces, and we did for sure. And now they have their own show. But like, you got Gregor back in like season 4 of Clone Wars. He was a clone commando, which whenever he showed up, I was like, sweet, we're going to get clone commandos. We're going to get more into like special units and stuff like that. And Gregor did live into Rebels. So he showed up again, but we haven't really. Now Bad Batch is just kind of about their family and what they're going through, like their little makeshift family, which is, I mean, Star Wars was all about found family and everything. Not a super big fan of Omega, like Tuck. The only thing I can think about is like it's cool that Jango Fett has a sister.
Yeah. Or
Boba Fett, excuse me, not Jango. That Boba has a sister, but I'm trying to like figure out what's her place going to be in the galaxy eventually? Like, how do they continue with her and her story? Because I know Dave Filoni will surprise me and give me the answers to all my questions, and I will be proven wrong. But I don't see how her story really goes past this series whenever it does finally come to its conclusion. Maybe she'll be a video game character, or she'll get a comic book series about her adventures. Because, I mean, obviously the Bad Batch is going to end eventually. Clone Force 99 is going to end eventually because they don't show up in Rebels.
Right. Yeah, or anything else. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all going to die.
Yeah.
They're going to Rogue One us.
I think that could be a possibility. Either that or, it'd be cool for them to get a video game in the likeness of the Clone Commando game that we had years ago.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, not a super big fan of Bad Batch. But I was really surprised whenever season 2 came out. I was on vacation with my wife visiting her family, and we had just gotten back from like snowboarding that day. And I'm an old man, and my body was broken after just one day on the mountain. But I did do a full day. I did a full day of snowboarding, which I also hadn't snowboarded in about 15 years. So lots of falling. Anyways, long story short, cut to me in a bathtub watching season 2 of Bad Batch. And I was more surprised. I like season 2. There are some good moments in season 1, but season 2 is all right. It's
nice.
It's not blowing me out of the water, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah. The couple of episodes I saw, like up until now, are good.
Nice,
but it is kind of more the same. Like Bad Batch at this point, to me, I think I agree with Mac that like it is a little bit of a one-dimensional series.
Mm-hmm.
However, I like how they played the characters. The characters are good. The lines are good. The production quality's good. It's just, I think if you wanted it to be about being a really cool special ops unit, then this show's not for you. But if you wanted it to be like a family-friendly action comedy, then this show might be for you. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I agree.
I think we need to like see them do some more specialized things, like really showing, like we talked about it last week, but like there was the whole reinforcement scene where the clones were like, oh, you're just bringing 5 guys, and then it was Clone Force 99 and they saved the day. But like I would love to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah, like I think this reputation's like it's forced on them, but I don't think we actually get to see why they have the reputation that much.
Right.
We just get to see like, oh boy, it's Bad Batch, and then they kick butt, and that's it. But like we don't really get to know like a whole lot of their origin, or like why the Republic counts on them so much, why the Empire. Well, no, we do get to understand like why the Empire comes to trust them, but the Republic anyway, like we don't know like where they came from, what their origin story is, and it's just like we're just told that they're awesome, and then we're just shown them, and that's it. Yeah.
Right. Definitely some more background on them would be nice. And I think right now, at least with season 1, it's kind of hard because they're on the run. They can't be like in open warfare against the Empire. Like there's just 6 of them or 5 of them. You know, they're not gonna make it.
Yeah, that's what makes me kind of sad of it, is how they got brought in so late,
right,
into the universe that you didn't, there weren't those special arcs where Clone Force 99 got to be involved more in the war. I mean, that you get stories of like why they are who they are and what they do, but there's only a couple episodes of them in Clone Wars.
Right. Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll see what happens and what Dave Filoni's got up his sleeves.
I mean, let's be real. At this point, we're all just waiting for Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'll do is we can go through the episodes. I'll give you guys just a little recap on what happens, and then we can talk about it. So cut and run. This is the first This is the second episode, so first one after the aftermath. And they're trying to find help, and they go to a clone deserter and his family. And they have to... I can't remember this clone's name. I'm sorry.
Cut.
But say that again?
Cut. C-U-T. Cut. Yeah.
Nice. So they get there. They interact with him, and essentially the story is just them trying to get his family chain code so they could get off. Also, Hunter's struggling with if he wants to let Omega, if they should keep Omega or let them go with this family.
Well, this is also... Didn't we see this family in Clone Wars? Didn't this guy desert in Clone Wars? See, I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the one where...
Rex is hurt.
And so is Anakin.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're both jacked up at the same time.
Yeah.
And they have to get help, and they wander upon this farm, and they find that it's a clone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and they have 2 really annoying kids.
Right. Which, it really bothered me. I was like, timeline-wise, this doesn't make sense. There's no way these kids are this old. But he's just their stepdad. He's not their biological father.
You sure about that?
I am. Yeah, I looked it up because it was really bothering me when I was watching through Clone Wars.
You sure Twi'leks don't just age fast?
Maybe. I mean, they're what, like 10 at this point?
I don't even know.
If,
I think honestly like 7.
Yeah, I don't think they're that old.
Doubling age. That's still a
Yeah,
little...
the Clone Wars didn't last that long.
Right, yeah. And this was pretty early on in the Clone Wars, too. This is like season 2 or 3, I think.
Which even then, the Clone Wars timeline is all messed up because they bounce around like an anime.
Yes. Anyway, I personally really like this episode. I liked Hunter's struggle with like trying to decide if he wants to be this father figure or if he should pass Omega on. I think that was my favorite part of the episode. It was nice seeing more Clone Wars characters. Again, it's always like, aha, I know those people, I know those guys. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I mean, I agree. It's always nice to see old characters finally like in Rebels, whenever all the old clones came back and we got to see Rex again and Gregor and Commander Wolf and all those guys. So I agree. It's always good to see new faces. Dave Filoni always presents a great story of fatherhood and what it means to be a father in someone's life, which is, a huge story in Star Wars in and of itself. And Hunter already has so much pressure on trying to hold the team together now that things in the galaxy aren't really certain anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, really, as far as this episode goes, I also want to say, too, like with Omega, it makes you, I think her character gets more depth here. Just because it's evident, like, whenever the other kids want to play with her, like, it's obvious that she's never been a kid before.
Yeah, right.
Like, she doesn't know how to play games. She doesn't know what flowers smell like. She doesn't know what are dangerous animals and what are not dangerous animals. She has no idea. And I think that's like one thing that really adds to her character. I think that's a big part of this episode, honestly. Like the chain codes, I mean, it's clear that the Empire's getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's also cool that we finally get to see, like, we've heard chain codes in Star Wars for a long time, but now we're actually seeing, like, how they were implemented and how they got brought in. And it's basically, you know, just a serialization of everyone in the galaxy so that you can track and have a hold on everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and isn't it ironic that, like, you know, that's one of the main things that the clones fought for was being individualized. Mm-hmm. And then not even 10 years later, not even a year later, well, not even 2 years later, it's being stripped from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's ironic. Yeah, and it's crazy.
I think that's something they talk about in this episode.
I think so.
This one or the next one? They specifically talk about the chain codes. Echo and Tech are talking about it and how crazy it is that they wanted so hard to be separated from their numbers, and now everybody just wants a number.
I think that's the next one.
Gotcha.
I think.
Something between, the Aftermath and then this episode made me really start thinking about the fact that, like, people definitely knew that about the Empire. I don't think they knew about Palpatine's evil plan to kill the Jedi. I don't think they knew that he was ruling both sides of the Civil War. But I definitely think Tarkin and some other higher ups knew and were already planning that, like, okay, there's going to be a change in the galaxy. How would you change it? You know?
Yeah.
Because they just implement these changes so fast. Like, we talked about it last week. The clones are almost immediately all in just, like, their basic white, non-painted armor. This episode, we get to see the chain codes. Like, things are just happening so fast.
Yeah, and I think that's a very cool detail that we get that, you know, we've always known that the change happened really quickly from moving to the Republic to the Galactic Empire, but I don't think we ever realized that it was this quick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think it does a good job of making it more realistic. Because always empires, governments that rule for a long time, governments that are far-reaching in their control. Propaganda is a major part of that. And then also, too, I mean, you have to destroy individualism in order to control. You must make a unified front that people can get behind in order to control the galaxy. And that's very much what the Empire's doing. They're doing an excellent job of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's really cool, like, in the Star Wars books, like, you get more of the propaganda and, like, how people feel about it. And I think that's something that's missing from the Star Wars universe. I mean, we get it in Rebels, like, the propaganda piece and everything like that, but they go really deep into the books and how people are, like, everyone understands that Palpatine is a master of propaganda.
Yeah.
And in the universe, in the, you know, cinematic universe or the show universe, you still do get elements of that, but just not as deep. You get it from a very, like, small point of view. Like with Bad Batch, it's obviously just the clones, and they're like, well, we know this didn't go this way. This is not how it happened. Like, everybody in the galaxy is being snowed, and they just don't realize it. But everything is moving so quickly that you can't stop it. The ball has already started rolling and picking up momentum.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I got everyone to believe that the rebels and the Jedi were evil and not to be trusted, I think it'd be pretty hard, especially if you give it some time, a couple months, couple years, then everyone's going to believe that. And that's a hard thing to overturn.
Well, and I mean, a really cool thing that the show does too is, you know, it makes like those moments in the original films, like A New Hope, where, you know, Luke and Ben are talking at points, and the Jedi are, you know, non-existent. Like they're this old religion, you know, like even Han says it, that the Jedi were just this hokey old religion of, you know, conjurers and wizards, of fake magic and stuff. And you're like, dude, you were alive during like the very tail end of this. What do you mean? But I mean, it just goes to show how well Palpatine's plan went and how easy it is to rewrite history.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we start talking about the next episode?
I think we should, because we've somehow gotten into politics, history. Next is religion, so...
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe we'll get into there by the end. So the next episode is Replacements. This is the episode where we see Crosshair's new team, and they get sent on their first mission. Essentially, Tarkin is testing them to see if they could do what the Clone Force 99 couldn't do. We also have another story of the Bad Batch. Their ship gets something goes wrong with the ship, and they crash land, and they have to get a part, but some alien creature stole the part, and Hunter and Omega have to go find it. I will admit the actual Bad Batch story part of this episode was not my favorite, but I really enjoyed Crosshair's new team, the dynamics behind them. I like that we saw early on that some of the humans were just like, if you clones were actually good, then you wouldn't be replaced. And they had a really big ego. And then my favorite moment, I think in Bad Batch, at least season 1 overall, is at the end where one of the humans tries to stop Crosshair from killing civilians. And he's like, no, we're not doing this. And he turns to everyone else and was like, hey, I'm in control now. Let's do what I say. And Crosshair just kills him.
Yeah, bad idea to cross the guy that, you know, can shoot anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is genetically modified to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I really, like I said, I really liked this episode. I really liked specifically Crosshair's side. The Bad Batch's side, it was okay. I mean, they go and they find the part. I think this is the episode where Omega gets her own room at the end. I thought that was sweet.
Yay!
I thought so
Omega's
too.
a part of the family.
Yeah. And also like how it's the turret and they changed it into her room. Yeah, that's sweet. They gave up a part of the ship for her. I mean, that's cute.
Oh, one thing that I love from when I was gone is Tucker's impressions of Omega.
Tick.
Tick.
Hunter. Ricky.
Ricka.
Crosshair.
No, I think Crosshair is probably like one of the most compelling individuals in the show. He's got the best storyline out of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he is honestly, I mean, as far as his turn to the dark side, quote unquote, that was such a surprise to me, honestly. I really thought that based on him in the Clone Wars and him in that first episode, you can always see, of course, that he's a rule follower.
Mm-hmm.
But that he would turn this far was a surprise to me. It really was. Just because I thought he was enough of a rule follower to where he would follow Hunter. I thought he would follow Hunter into oblivion. But I think that's not the case.
Yeah, in my opinion, for me, it wasn't that hard of a thing to see coming because, you know, Crosshair and Hunter already have that, I wouldn't say rivalry, but they kind of butt heads in. Yeah. I think there's always been animosity in the team between those two because, you know, Hunter was engineered to have those leadership skills to, I mean, if you think of them like a pack of animals, like Hunter is obviously the alpha. And of course, underneath the alpha is going to be the one always challenging. Yeah. But we'll never win. And, you know, usually that person, or that animal, whenever you look at packs and things like that, that second that just can't beat the alpha usually does get ousted out of the group and forms their own pack that they can be the leader of.
Yeah, well, and Hunter is the immovable object, and Crosshair is the unstoppable force.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And it creates this paradox that they're just always fighting each other.
Yeah. And I think this episode does a really good... it's a really good setup for what's to come next, their eventual showdown. Especially Crosshair getting his own team. I really like the moment at the end of the episode where him and his team come in and they go to the Bad Batch's room and they're, everyone's picking out their bed and, Crosshair just kind of gives them a look, doesn't say anything, and just goes and sits in his bed.
Yeah. What about his new armor too? He gave up his cool armor for like this lame Empire armor, and I'm like, dude, why wouldn't you keep it?
I think it's symbolic, I agree his original armor was better, but I think this is just like, I'm a new man, leader of my own team.
Yeah, but even then, like, he didn't even believe in his own team. Like, he was given these normal people, and he's like, yeah, none of you are good enough to be here.
Right, yeah.
You'll either all die or I'll kill you by my own hand at some point.
Yeah, and it's
I don't know. Let's see what happens.
It's that classic example of the best players aren't always the best coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just always comparing them to himself, and
we talked
they're
about
not
it
him.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Last week, Crosshair is definitely not a good leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys got anything else on this episode?
No, we can go on.
Great. The next one is Cornered. This is the first episode where we get to see Finnick. Essentially, she's sent by the Camino cloners to get Omega. Couple things we see in this episode. They're trying to buy some parts for the ship, to scramble their codes. They pretend that Echo's a robot for 3,000 credits.
Yep, and he thought he was worth 5,000.
Yep.
I do remember this episode.
Omega essentially runs into Finnick because her toy gets stolen, which I thought was very sad.
Yep.
And yeah, really the second half of the episode is just saving Omega from Finnick.
Yep.
The return of Finnick Shand.
Yeah.
Again.
I really like this episode. It was cool to see Finnick. I know that guy. I know him.
Yeah. Well, and also Finnick is a very cool bounty hunter. Star Wars, especially in the past, well, actually always Star Wars has had strong female characters, and Finnick is just another one to add to that list.
For sure.
She's cool in every definition of the word.
Yeah,
I mean, I really like Finnick a lot, and getting to see her was awesome. Yeah.
Because we had just gotten her in Mandalorian and Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So during that break in between then, we get her in Clone Wars, which I know was a big deal whenever it first dropped. I remember seeing like the animation for her, and everybody was losing their mind and everything, which, hey, you want to add more characters across platforms? Go ahead.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And I feel like them trying to sell Echo is something that we would do. We would try to sell Tuck.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tucker.
Beep boop, beep boop. Give me those parts, please.
Oh yeah, Echo, he frees the droids that he was there with, and they help them fix the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, the only difference is instead of trying to sell Tuck for, the guy would probably say, I'll take him for 5, and we'll say, no, he's probably worth around 3.
I would say at least 10. I'd highball you, Tuck.
Well, that's what happened to Echo. I mean, originally it started at 10, and it was like 5, then it was like 3, and he's like, you better not sell me, and he's like, sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what happened to me. I honestly, but I feel like you two fellers whom I love so much, would probably sell me for 100 credits if it meant getting the ship parts.
I would sell you for a hot dog and no ship parts.
Listen, Tuck, I would go for higher, but if that's all we needed was 100 credits to fix the ship, maybe.
Would you sell me for a hot dog and no ship parts?
No, Tucker,
Like, Mac,
never.
are you sure? Are you sure?
Listen, I know that eventually you would get yourself out of the prison that we sold you
it's
into.
True. It's true. It's true. I would.
And who could turn down a nice hot dog?
Wait, listen. If Max sells you, I'll make sure you get out somehow.
It's too late. Max said he'd sell me for a hot dog. I'm leaving. I'm
Oh,
leaving.
Man.
But then also
This is
I can
gonna
be
get-
bought for a hot dog too. So if you
It's gonna
guys
get
make a
bad.
hot dog, I'll come back. But
When we move on to the next episode, I'm not ready. But yes, what did you guys think of this episode? Any other thoughts?
it was like, in some ways, watching this series afterward, it was Obi-Wan-esque. You know, just like chasing a kid around the city, trying to save him. And all the hijinks that goes along with that. Fennec's awesome. Watching that speeder bike chase was cool. You don't really get a whole lot of car chases in Star Wars, and getting to see one is pretty neat.
I mean, it also adds depth to Hunter. I mean, now he has accepted that role from, where he was questioning himself in episode 2. Now he's like, she's a part of the family. Like, we have to go get her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
he's...
if she went back with Fennec, how bad would it really be?
I don't know, because the Camino cloners have made it clear that they want her so they can keep making clones. So, I mean, I don't think they'd hurt Omega, but I don't think she'd have a good life either.
I think they would. I think they would just because you don't necessarily have to have a completely intact human being to get their DNA.
Well, that's depressing.
I think they would hurt her if they felt like they needed to.
Listen,
Well-
I'm just glad I'm not the one causing emotional trauma this episode.
Something I've been trying to wrap my head around is, like I said, Mandalorian is coming up, and I know we're talking about Bad Batch, but it, part of it is Bad Batch 2 is, the cloning stuff that we got in Mandalorian for the past 2 seasons is like, was Omega going to be part of that plan as well? And if so, then why did the Emperor do what he does to Camino? We can talk about that when we get to it, later, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around it all. And my small brain can't do it.
Yeah, I suffer from room temperature IQ. And it's not easy trying to understand the Camino stuff.
I've never heard that before, and I love it because it completely makes sense to me because I completely understand where you're coming from. I'm just smart enough to put, simple things together, but these grand ideas elude me.
Yeah, if it's that like 80 IQ level, I can't do it. I know that's not even that high of a score, but I'm just not that smart.
At this point, I've just kind of given up because we've talked about it, the sequels. I got my expectations too high, and a lot of the reasons I don't like them is my own fault for, coming up with ideas on where I think it's going and then being mad when it doesn't happen. So, where it goes, right?
Yep, yeah, and I do like the cloning thing, though. I will say, whenever it's all done, like here in the next couple of years, whenever we finally get, like, the complete process, how it works, I think it's going to be very interesting. But just right now, it's so early, I just don't know if I can put it together yet,
I know, and we only got a little bit of it in Obi-Wan, and I wanted so much
right.
more.
Maybe season 2, my friend.
Maybe
season 2.
Maybe the new Jedi game will answer some of those clues as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know how loosely cloning works. Like, I know you can take a, like, DNA from something and put it in a living thing and make a baby that comes out. but that's pretty much all I got as far as like how cloning works. So I would really love if they would just do something for myself and my smooth brain friends to try to explain it better.
Just give us a 10-minute PowerPoint. That's all we need.
Yep,
Dave.
10-minute
Lots
PowerPoint,
of pictures, not so many words.
Yeah, we don't read. We don't read here. We read on like a sixth grade level.
That's a lot of words.
That's pretty much it.
And I'm not reading them.
Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Yep, and also it better be, each word better be like, I think I can tolerate a maximum of like
6 letters.
6 letters. Yeah. Yeah. That's about all I can do.
I will say I do think that this episode probably my least favorite out of the 5 that I watched for this episode.
Hey, I watched them. It's just been a couple weeks. That's all.
Yeah,
I have the memory of an elephant.
An elephant?
Of course.
What are you talking about?
Well then, if you got a memory of the elephant, you want to tell us what happens in the next episode?
Is this where Cad Bane comes back?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
It's later. I think that's like going to be next Animal Squadron episode, isn't it?
Next I think so, yeah. Or maybe even the last part, honestly. I feel like Cad Bane comes later. I could be wrong. Okay, and so next episode, this is Rampage. This is probably my favorite.
Oh, wait, is this with the baby Rancor?
This is with the baby Rancor.
What did I tell you? Memory like an elephant.
Moochie!
Memory like an elephant.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, and also I love that in Bad Batch, Mandalorian, and Boba Fett, we've had a lot more Rancor content.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I like how that's become our monster as a Star Wars community. That's just become our favorite.
There's a Rancor Mandalorian?
At the end, I think. Or was that just Boba Fett?
That's just Boba Fett.
I think that's just
That's
Boba
the end
Fett.
of Boba Fett, where it becomes the Mandalorian.
But
yeah,
I'm guessing
it all runs together for that reason. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm guessing we will see that Rancor again in Mandalorian Season 3. I'd be really surprised if we don't.
Where he rides it like a panther.
Yeah.
Like a bantha.
Like a panther.
So this is the episode where we meet, I think it's Sid.
Yes.
Who essentially becomes a very important character later. I wrote down, we're looking for someone, and they ask the person we're looking for trope. Because they walk in and they ask Sid, hey, we're looking for Sid.
Who's a Trandoshan?
Yep. And
You're
she's
right.
also not big and muscular like the other Trandoshans.
Well, this is like the first time we've ever seen a female Trandoshan.
I know, yeah. So
Yeah.
are they all built like her? Or is she a small one?
I don't know.
Maybe it's because she's
we'll just have
old.
to find out. That's what I was thinking, is that she was a little older.
Maybe.
I really like that Sid has a soft spot for Omega. And I also loved her roast of the clones, where she says, what, are you fresh out of the tube?
Well, I mean, the galaxy did not look kindly upon the clones for the greater,
Right. Yeah.
masses.
I also love how she gives them all little nicknames. I don't know if it's just in this episode or later, but like, calling Tech Goggles or calling Hunter Tall, Dark, and Broody, or calling Wrecker Muscles or stuff like that. I think that's funny. I think that's really funny.
I really like Sid. I think she's probably my favorite character that they introduced in this series.
Really?
Yeah. Like, maybe not my favorite out of the whole cast, but favorite that there's a new character for this series. So above Omega, definitely above Crosshair's team.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she gives them their first mission, and they go to save Moochie, which they're told is a kid.
And he is.
What are they, Mac? Zagorians? The slavers?
Oh, I think there's Ygarians.
Oh, the
Zagarians.
the
The
cat
cat pit
people?
people?
Yeah.
I think there's
Yes.
Ygarians. You may want to double check, but I think it's Zygarian.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll look that up. our boys get captured, and through mischief, Omega, she lets the Rancor free and saves the day.
And I think we were all, like, it was in like a closed cage, right? Like we were all expecting like a Rancor, and we got a baby Rancor.
Right, yeah.
Because I mean, again, Boba Fett, that was a baby Rancor, I think, which for whatever reason, it made my heart happy that Danny Trejo is now part of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I think he said that the Rancor that he gave Boba was a youngling, like it was only a couple years old.
Yeah, he did say that.
And even then, that Rancor was pretty good sized. I mean, it's not the Rancor that was in Return of the Jedi or that we've seen in, Force Unleashed or other Star Wars media.
Yeah.
But this was a real baby Rancor.
Well, and if you think about it, I mean, so let's say the average man or like male alien is, say, 6 foot tall. I mean, even a baby Rancor is twice that size as far as like weight and width. Maybe not like height. Height is probably, I don't know, 8 feet tall, 10 feet tall. And then like a grown Rancor is like probably 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
There's something I wanted to ask. I really liked Wrecker's fight with Muchi at the end to get dominance. Just the fact that you could tell that they were both exhausted by the end of it.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think Wrecker would have won.
What character fought Mochi?
Wrecker.
Wrecker?
Wrecker?
There we go.
Yes, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. I really don't think he would have won if that, like, it was just right out of the cage. I think that the Muchi'd been fighting for a while. It's throwing hands with the, I just looked it up, it's Zygerians.
Throwing
off by a vowel.
Skinny little creepy hands. Yep.
Yeah. So, and they fought the big creature too, the like lizard with the wings. What are those things called?
Nah.
Shame.
I
shame,
won't even
shame. Mackenzie. Anyway, the lizard thing.
Again, I'm also going off of knowledge from, like, I watched the first season of Bad Batch. I think I rewatched it at some point, but even then, it's been a while. It's got
to be at least a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is my favorite episode out of the batch that we watched. So 2 through 6.
Was it really a good or a bad batch?
It was a good batch.
A good batch. Good batch of the bad
batch. Good batch, Tino.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like that Omega just didn't try to like fight the Zygerians, that she was actually smart and freed Muchi.
Well, I think this whole episode centers, isn't there like some big like overarching theme that Omega doesn't listen and she doesn't think with her head?
Yeah.
And Hunter's like, if you're going to be a part of the team, like it's not just brute force. Like it's a collection of all of our skills working together, and you have to look at the situation and not just act in the situation. Because her favorite team member is Rekka.
Rekka?
Who just punches and shoots things.
Omega.
Can we sell him?
No.
Tick.
No, we cannot. This is also the episode where Omega gets her bow. That'll be important for the future, because she steals it off a Zygerian.
Because what does every 10-year-old need? A deadly weapon.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
I'm only sad that they didn't give her a gun, personally.
Yeah. It would have made more sense. It would have made more sense.
Give her a gun.
I think they wanted to kind of distinguish her from the rest. Like, everyone kind of has their own thing. Hunter's the leader. Tech's the cyborg, or not Tech. Echo's the cyborg. Tech's the brains. Wrecker's the muscles. Omega has a bow.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, let's be real. They're the Ninja Turtles.
Yep. They are.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Same exact thing, basically.
I didn't realize that, but you're right.
Yep.
Well, no, it wasn't even me that pointed that out. It was, again, I was listening to you guys' episodes while I was gone. And Tuck brought up that great anecdote about how he was always Donatello and how, Tech is Donatello. And I was like, this whole show is just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it is. Right. And Omega is April, the human girl that's friends with them.
Yeah.
And Hunter is Leonardo. Wrecker is
who?
Wrecker is Raphael.
There we go.
And then Echo. Who is Echo? I mean, I guess he's Michelangelo. I guess, but that was the one that's kind of soft. It's kind of soft.
But you know what?
If you take the original,
funky.
If you take the original Clone Force 99, Leonardo is Hunter, like Tuck said. Raphael would be Crosshair. Michelangelo would be Wrecker, and Tech is Donatello.
Yeah, and then Echo just isn't there yet. Yeah,
Wrecker is Casey. Echo is the guy. Casey.
The hockey mask guy? Yeah.
He's Casey.
Yeah, he is Casey, yeah.
I think also a moment I really loved in this episode, though, was when they get to the kid and they're like, we're here to save you, Moochie. And the dad speaks in some alien languages, and then he points at the Rancor and he's like, Moochie! Moochie!
Like whenever the audience reveal of who Moochie is, yeah.
Is this the Rancor that Luke kills? I think it might be.
It'd be the right age.
Right?
No, I think that the Jabba's Rancor had a different name.
I'll look it up. Actually, wait, Mac, you want to look it up and I'll get us into the next episode?
Yeah, I'm all over it at the speed of Google.
I think I will say, on a last note, I think it's either the one that Luke kills or the one that we see in Boba Fett.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, maybe. No, because, well, it can't be, because actually Rancors, I don't think they age that slow.
Yeah.
It'd be 20 years. Probably.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, so actually it might be the one Luke kills. Continue.
So,
sorry.
Last episode for today is... Oh, go ahead.
So, at the speed of Google, it was not Moochie.
Not Moochie.
From Wikipedia, which is a fandom-run website, but it's the most reliable thing we have.
It's good stuff.
Jabba's Rancor's name was Patissa, which was given in 2016.
Dope.
Bib Fortuna hired Sid to return the Rancor to them, which is what we see in this episode, but obviously they didn't give Moochie back. They give Moochie to somebody else?
Oh, maybe. Maybe a different hut takes Moochie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really think that's covered in the episode. I think they do give it back to Bib Fortuna, and that's it, yeah.
Bib Fortuna gets Moochie back, for sure. And they pay Sid. And maybe Bib Fortuna gives it to somebody else. But also, can we, real quick, just talk about the balls on the Zygerians stealing something from the huts?
And also stealing a freaking Rancor?
Right?
Like,
yeah,
bruh.
It was a bold move, and I think all things considered, they got off pretty easy.
That is some Pike type stuff right there.
Yeah,
stealing a Rancor from the huts, like you crazy,
right?
You got that dog in you.
You got the dog in you,
and I respect it.
All right, last episode, Decommissioned. This is the episode where Sid gives them the mission to go find the tactical droid head, and they run into the people from the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's her nuts and her sister. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I watched this episode last night.
Oh,
I have no idea what their names are.
Yep.
The sisters.
Mm-hmm.
That Ahsoka, they let Ahsoka live there rent-free, like in the underbelly of Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know their names.
Yeah.
Bad Star Wars fan. Oh, well.
I really like this episode. It starts off with Omega training with her bow. She's doing really bad, and Echo's giving her the more of a military talk, like, you gotta practice to get good. Get rid of your distractions. I think she hits 3 out of 12 of her shots. So he tells her that's luck, not skill. And then Sid walks in, grabs the bow, and hits 3 bullseyes in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, which also, I like how people are betting on it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Patissa and Moochie, sorry, I've been in this deep rabbit hole of rancors.
No, that's okay.
Patissa and Moochie are definitely not the same thing. Moochie is a female, Patissa was a male.
Okay.
Because I was getting conflicting information.
That they might be the same?
Yeah, they might be the same, but they're not. They're definitely not. Moochie's fate is unknown.
Good. I'm attached.
They were given back to Bib Fortuna. But that's all. So maybe Moochie's fate will be revealed to us at a later time.
I hope so.
Sorry, but I was like deep in the rabbit hole of having to know what happened to Moochie and if Luke actually killed Moochie.
That's what I've been thinking since I first saw the episode, and I was devastated. So I'm feeling a little better right now.
I feel nothing.
Same.
But yes, so we're on Decommissioned. Let's see what else happens. They go to the facility. There's only one head, and essentially, the first chunk of the episode is them fighting the sisters, trying to get the head, and then because of Omega, the police droids get alerted, and the rest of the episode is them trying to fight through all the droids together.
Yeah, which actually, on a quick note, real quick, can we talk about how it's kind of cool that, as far as at least tactical droids go, that as long as the head is intact, you can get all of the intel. You can basically rebuild the entire droid just from the head. I found that interesting. I found that very interesting. That's like the only important part.
Well, I mean, we got that back in Clone Wars too. They would put cables in B1 battle droid's head.
Yep.
And be able to get stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that they kept that. I think it's very, very interesting.
Well, I like the tactical droids too. They're very interesting droids.
They are. And actually, can they really fight? Do we ever get any of that?
No.
Other than, they can just command really well, but other than being good commanders, that's kind of all they got.
No, that's all tactical droids are for.
Anytime they're actually in a combat scenario with somebody else, they die immediately.
Yeah, because they can't make quick decisions. They're just good at playing chess. That's it.
Right. Yeah. I really like that they essentially turned the tactical droid on and told them to, have all the other droids kill the police droids. It really reminded me a lot of Rebels in the episode where they team up to fight the Empire.
The last battle.
Yeah.
Or the last battle of the Clone Wars, whatever it was called.
Yeah. It definitely reminded me a lot of that episode. It made me feel a little nostalgic.
Nostalgic Elijah.
Yes. I think the last thing I want to really say about this episode is I really like the fact that
it's the Cortez sisters. I didn't look it up. It just finally came up in my brain because I saw a picture of them.
The Cortez sisters.
So, long story short, the head gets destroyed, and they only have one little USB with the data on it.
It's the Martez sisters.
It's the Martez sisters.
Yep, for the last time. Martez sisters, that's it.
This is it. That's the one. But I really like that he asked them what they would do with the information, and they tell him, we're trying to get it to people who are trying to fight the Empire, and Hunter gives them the information. He gives up whatever money they were going to make and just says, here, you take it. You'll use it better than I would. We get a little hint of what's to come, a little conversation between the sisters and someone. We don't know who yet. As one of them tells them, a batch of clones helped us out. We thought maybe you'd want to know.
Yes.
Which will be important for next week and what we talk about.
And I will definitely watch those episodes.
Hell yeah, for
yes,
sure.
Yes, sir, Bob.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Do you guys have any other thoughts on Decommissioned?
I want to decommission Tuck.
It was a fun episode to watch. That's pretty much all I got. But
I like the dynamics.
You know what's more fun? Is hanging here with my two best buddies.
You know, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be
Hell yeah. So glad to have Mac back. And I mean, we do have a listener question that we need to talk about, but
Let's
pretty
go.
much we got that conversation done in right under an hour. Hell yeah.
All right.
I'm proud of us, boys.
I am too, dude. I didn't think we were
First
going to
time
do it.
in a while.
I didn't think we were going to do it. I got to take less notes from
The
now on.
key
That's just
is
what's gonna
for
happen.
2/3 of us to just not watch the content that we're reviewing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That way I can do
Okay.
my very long monologues. Tuck can remember parts of the episode. I can remember character names, and Elijah just guides us.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
That's what we need as a team.
I will watch, read, and play all the content by myself from now on.
We finally found the secret formula. It's only taken us 2 years, adding another member, and, you know, just reformulating the show.
Numerous other changes. Yep.
This says, "Hi Elijah, I just wanted to say I love the show and I wanted to send this email to you, mostly jokingly, because Mac took credit for the meme I sent him. The hot dog meme is very hilarious to me, yes, but he said he sent it to me, but that would be incorrect. I sent it to him. Anyways, you and Tuck are doing great, but please harass HouseDog slightly the next time you guys talk for taking my meme. Keep up the great work. Signed, Wife to a Thief."
Thank you, Wife to a Thief, for sending us that. I'm getting the feeling that it might be HouseDog's wife, but I don't know.
So I think
sounds
she's
like
the
maybe a big
suspicion
reveal.
I got.
This is a like huge debate in our house. So I went back and I listened to the episode, and I'm pretty sure that I didn't say that I sent her the meme. I could be wrong, but I don't think I said that. But I also think I saw the hot dog meme before her, and I just didn't tell her, and then she sent it to me.
Ah, yes. The argument that you can't prove. I like it.
It's the only way to win.
It's a good stance to have.
Elijah, if you can find the audio, play it. Play it now.
Like, if I just tell her that meme, like, you smell like hot dog, she just cracks up. She loves it so much. And, like, I sent it to her, like, as a joke. Like, I didn't think she would think it's that funny.
Yeah.
But, man, she loves it.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to be a part of this podcast, or you have any questions or anything you want to talk to us about, you can email us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. Thanks again. We really appreciate all of you. For the Animal Squadron, this has been Mother Goose.
And the long-awaited return of HouseDog. As it should
Hell
be.
yeah.
As well as the long-awaited return of Lowtech Tuck. Keep
You've
eating
been on the
wires
show since I've
and
been
keep
gone.
being a menace, my friends.
Tucker, we missed you so
Keep
much. I'm
being
so
a
glad
menace.
Tucker's back.
I'm selling him. I'm selling him. That's it. That's it. I'm selling him. And not even
Do
for a
not
hot
be a
dog at
slave
this
to the
point.
Zygerians. Don't let them do it to you.
I'm
Keep
selling
chopping
him.
those wires, friends. Get after it.
Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.
Goodbye.